All right, let's call this special meeting to order at 8:32 p.m. We're going to start with the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the
to the
flag
flag of the United States
the
of
United
America,
States of America,
and
and to the republic
which
for
for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty.
with liberty
and
and justice for all.
for all.
Please join me in a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Sunshine Law notice. In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, public meetings may be held in person or by means of communication equipment to include streaming services and other online meeting platforms. This meeting is being held through the Zoom meeting platform only, being broadcast from Borough Hall, 748 River Road, Fairhaven, New Jersey. Public participation for this special council meeting of August 7th, 2023 is available by call-in phone number or through web conference Zoom. Members of the public will be on mute until it's time for questions or comments, which will be announced. At that time, the public has the opportunity to question or comment by phone or through Zoom by the raise hand button will be called on at the appropriate time. Notice of this special meeting was sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and the Star Ledger on July 25th, 2023. Notice was also posted on the borough website, Facebook page, Constant Contact, the Bulletin Board, and Municipal Building, and has remained continuously posted as required under the statute. With adequate notice having been given, the borough clerk is directed to include this statement in the minutes of this meeting. Allison, may I please have a roll call?
Council members Cole, Hoey,
Here.
Koch,
Here.
La Barbera,
Here.
Neff, Rodriguez.
Here,
And I'm showing Administrator Casagran, Engineer Gardella, and Chief McGovern are also in attendance.
Okay. Starting off, we have a workshop. We have a request from Cameron Spector to film in the Fairhaven Fields natural area from August 11th to August 13th. He has requested that the permit fee be waived. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this?
My only
Mayor,
question,
I'm okay with it.
is what other, are there any other long-term plans beyond this time? Because Cameron, I believe, has been doing this for multiple years, if I recall correctly.
Correct.
So if this is happening every year, I just want to continue to know that, and kind of what Cameron's long-term plan is with use of Fairhaven Fields, because waiving it a couple of times makes total sense. I understand there's a budget, but Teresa, do we know how many times we're waiving this now?
It's each year. And it's different locations. Hold on, Cameron's in attendance. Let me just bring him in. Cameron, you can unmute yourself.
Oh, thank you for having this session and for letting me be here for this session for discussing it now. Councilman La Barbera, thank you for your question. The goal is to get to a point where I can afford. I'm currently still in college, and therefore it makes it hard to be able to pay for those fees once I'm out of college and we start earning more money. The goal would be to be able to afford that. But the only issue, and I know I've brought this up to the mayor before, is that it's just based on the system. It's very exclusionary to small filmmakers like myself. We're working on a budget of $1,200, and the way that just the fees work in Fairhaven just would be impossible to shoot here with that budget. So, yeah.
Yeah, totally get it, Cameron, right? And I can appreciate that. From at least from my purview, Mr. Mayor, if I get to take an extra second, is that it sets precedent, right? So how many college kids in Fairhaven are doing filming that need waiving, right? And the fees are meant to be there. I'm in support, by the way. I'm going to say yes, but I just want to say this, right? Like, if we gave everybody waive that didn't have a lot of budget and stuff like that, everybody be using the fields, and that would have downstream impact on to residents, cleanliness, et cetera, right? I'm not saying that you're going to leave it in disarray and whatnot, but I just want to give that food for thought for you as you look ahead, since you know it's a long-term plan for you to keep doing this and for you to do this post-college. I would start thinking through the funding mechanisms a little bit further, Because there might come a year where we have 5 of these and we can't do it, right? So
I
full support,
100%
appreciate it.
understand, sir. I would love to have a meeting about this after the shoot, because this is not something that currently we're shooting in a week. So my current like main focus is getting to that point. But I'd love to have that discussion as to kind of next steps, not only for me, but thinking about the long-term, idea of, especially with someone like Netflix coming in only 10 minutes away, that's something that you guys as the council should be concerned slash aware of, and kind of the mechanisms that can come into, and just being prepared for that. So I know I've offered it to various council members, to various councils over the years to have that discussion. I hope you guys all have my email, so I hope that if there are any questions and concerns, especially of the future, I'm of course always working on making my budgets higher and higher and making the money to do so. But hopefully, if that's a concern, then maybe we can have that discussion at some point at post shoot.
Would love to do that. Would welcome that. Thanks, Cameron. Sorry, Allison.
That's okay. I attended the New Jersey Motion Picture and Television Commission, a seminar, and they reviewed our ordinance. And I had a separate Zoom meeting with one of the representatives about our ordinance. And they had some of our fees they felt were low, and 1 or 2 might have been just at the cusp or higher, but they said we're well within what other municipalities are charging, small, large, different. So
Thanks, Allison.
Does anyone else have anything they want to comment? No, the only comment I'm going to make, just to reiterate, Cameron, so it's part of the breakdown of this meeting. And the last one is to recall that an exception will not be made in the future on timing. If you have to film on a certain date, but we don't have a meeting in which we can extend or approve a permit, you're just going to have to wait until the next meeting. Okay.
Yes,
with
sir.
that,
Understood.
okay.
Thank you for making the exception.
With that being said, does anyone have a motion to?
I'll make a
approve?
motion to approve.
Anyone have a second?
Second.
Allison, may I please have a roll call?
council members Hoey,
Here, yes.
Koch,
Yes.
La Rivera,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Cameron, I'll prepare your permit and I'll shoot you an email once it's done.
Thank you so much.
Okey doke.
Thank
Good
you,
luck,
Cameron.
bud.
Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you. If anyone, sorry, before I let you guys to the important part of the meeting, if any of you are interested in coming by, supporting us, just, you guys have my email, just shoot me an email so that I know, and I can give you the specific time. I mean, I wrote it in the email, but weather permitting, we might have to shift.
Hey, Cameron, this is important, right? This was an important part of the meeting, right? Wouldn't be on the agenda if it wasn't. So I don't want you to think that it's not important to us.
Oh, no, 100%, but I also
Okay,
know
just
there are
wanna make
very
sure.
pressing issues in this town that, the other part of the meeting. So thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you. Moving along, resolution number 2023-199, 2023-200, authorize receipt of bids for the DPW renovation project and authorize the bond release to New Jersey Natural Gas for Dartmouth Avenue project. Does anyone have any comments on this?
What
Mr.
is
Mayor-
that? I'm sorry, I just wasn't sure what that was, just because it's my street. I'm just curious.
The gas company did a main project like 10 or 11 years ago.
Okay,
And they've been carrying renewal of that bond, and Nick has released it. The
okay,
road, nothing changed from there. And in order for them to provide us with a new ordinance with $100,000 blanket bond for cash repair, they have to close out this
I see.
bond.
I see. Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, on the DPW, I did prepare like 2-3 slides, 5 minutes, if it'd be helpful for background. I can also speak to it if anybody has questions.
Well, do we have to vote on the Dartmouth thing first, or no?
They can both be approved.
Like,
Okay.
it's like a consent agenda unless,
Yeah.
Got it.
unless someone wants to separate them, Kristen.
Okay, no, thank you.
Anybody have any questions? Councilman LaBarbera?
No, I mean, if I could just take a few minutes, Mr. Mayor, just to talk through the DPW bid. I'll speak to it. I won't present anything. We can do a larger next week. But basically the costs did come in. I'm gonna share my screen. It's just gonna make it easier to speak to so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go right into here. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna go into basically the site and the building. There's a tremendous amount of history here that I'm not gonna dive into. The primary theme is that what Eli did, what Brian Mead did, and what we did, it's apples to oranges to bananas. It's all different. So here, the site cost breakdown came in a little over $500,000. And you'll see all these subcomponents on here. Now, I figured folks would have questions about what was previously included. So PCM that's Brian Mead's company. So anywhere you see PCM NA, it wasn't part of it. So the fences weren't part of it. All of the extra landscaping wasn't part of it, right? So all these other components came in to arrive at that. Now the total construction total for the site is a little over 700. But if you remember, there's always a markup, right? The general requirements, the overhead, design contingency, et cetera. Now, the one thing that we did make a left turn is the rain garden. Right now, we're around $120,000 in plants and grass. And with the rain garden, it was 900 plus plantings. So we walked that back. It just doesn't make sense from a cost perspective. But more importantly than that, it's not a true rain garden. That stormwater management is meant to catch all the runoff pollution. That's the way the catch basin was built. And Rich, correct me if I'm wrong here. So a whole point of rain garden is take stormwater, right? Take it off and let it grow plants. Well, this would be filled with oil and all these other vehicle solids. So not only did it not make a sense from a component perspective, but just also a cost perspective. So that was the site breakdown. The building costs came in around 2.8, a little less than what we thought. It does include the new roof, and I want to call that out. If you remember, the Borough Hall and DPW roof were a separate project. We put that into here, right, to gain some type of cost. And then again, based on the scopes of work, especially in electrical and plumbing, you could see these numbers from Brian Mead's to ours. I'm not even going to bring up Eli's because Eli's was a new building. It's a whole different ballgame. But our team probing, going on site, taking down walls, right? The amount of drilling that we did. I mean, we exhausted all different components. So when you add in the general conditions of construction, all the other, it comes into 3.8. So the resolution that we're going to approve, and yeah, we won't know till we go out to bid. So the construction total is around 4.5 million. PCM's total, if you look back, is 2.9, but look at the differences in the square foot. So again, I just want to give you the data. I think the data is completely incongruent, but that's what it is. So the authorization for the DPW project, it doesn't include the fuel tanks. We have some work we need to do on the fuel tanks. It's probably going to be less than 650K for them. That'll be a separate validation. We are going to have a total capital review. So what the finance committee along with Mr. Mayor are going to do is we're going to sit down and we're going to look at all the capital improvements. Because we can't just look at our buildings, right? We're doing well. We're coming in under budget, right? Hopefully the appropriation comes in, but we have to look at the totality of the capital. We might have to say no to some things. One being the offsite maple improvements. I'm not saying we're going to do that, but it's around $242,000. We're going to put in the bid as an alternate. So if there's not enough funding, we don't have to accept it. And then ultimately, once the PD and community center bids start coming in, which we're hoping next week or two, we start seeing some numbers, we'll be able to look at the total bond ordinance numbers. So high level, just wanted to let folks have the data. I won't put this online just to protect the presentation, to protect it from like contractors and everybody looking at it. But I wanted to give you guys the background and whatnot, and obviously go deeper as we go forward and start selecting contractors and whatnot. So thanks, Mr. Mayor. Unless there's any questions, I'll turn it back to you, sir.
Yeah, Drew, just so I understand, so the total construction would be around 7 million, or are we saying 4 or 2?
The total construction for DPW is 4.5.
4.5, okay. got it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the
And the
original,
rate- Go ahead,
the original new building cost was 7.3.
wow.
Just to give you an idea of like the variation, right, with the dollar amount.
And for talking points, we're still exploring a rain garden at PD and CC, right?
Yes, PD and community
that's-
center rain garden makes sense because there's actual water going there, not oil infused. You know,
Okay, I think as long as we're armed with that, I can't imagine people would have a problem with it. That's great.
Okay, actually, before I ask for a motion here, I just, it's another big step and we didn't have the chance to ask for people to comment on agenda items. If it's okay with everyone, I'm just gonna move public participation up before that. Is there anyone in the public that has a comment on, why don't I just say either the workshop that we did on Cameron Spector or the resolutions 2023-199 through 200? Allison?
No one has their hand raised.
Okay, I'm gonna, just so that we don't continually ask the question, is there anyone that has a good of the borough comment? Allison?
No one's.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve 2023-199 through 200?
motion, second,
Second,
Allison, may I please have a roll call?
Council members Hoey,
yes.
Hodge,
yes,
La Barbera,
yes,
Rodriguez.
yes,
Thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting at 8:49 a.m.?
Motion,
second,
All in favor?
aye.
aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, everyone have the best week ever.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
bye.
Thanks.